Okay, which is more fun to do, VFX or games? A great question, and I don't know how I came up with this name. Actually, a few weeks ago, our HR called me. She asked me for the name of my presentation because they have to announce it. And I said, I'm not ready with my presentation. I haven't started working on it. But they needed a name, so I came up with this name. And a few weeks later, when I started working on my presentation, which was this Friday, I was wondering what I should say with this name. Oh, sorry. This one is for the game jam. Previous one is for a VFX conference. And I was in the situation that I had the name and I don't know what to say. I didn't know what to talk in front of people that are making games all the time. And I'm in the VFX industry for the last 4 years. So how to compare them? I didn't want to talk about that the games are interactive, movies are not, or blah, blah, something, stuff like that that you all already know. So I started to think, and I saw that the keyword here is fun. Because somebody calls me when I'm under pressure and I'm working and I have deadlines, and they ask me that I should speak about my job. And the first thing that came in my mind is fun. Okay, there is something wrong with me, I guess. I guess it's the same with all of you guys. So I started thinking, and to understand why it's fun and why it had to be fun, I went back to my childhood. And when I say childhood, I mean the ages between 5 and 11. These are the more powerful ages for a human being because you're not old enough to understand that something is hard and to plan, to think about the things that you have to do it. You still have the power of dreaming. So back then, in those ages, for a kid in Bulgaria, it was very hard to play a game or watch a movie. It's nothing like that right now, because now we have everything. So every time when I see a movie or play a game in those years, they had a great impact on me. So I was hungry for those. Those are not exactly worlds, but anyway. This was my childhood. So at that time, a seed was planted, a seed that gave birth to a VFX artist and a game maker years later. Okay, maybe 5 or 10 years after this point, I started to realize, or for the first time, the thought that maybe it will be the same fun making movies and games will be the same as watching them. So I started to search my own way, because back then there was no internet. I didn't have internet. I bought my first computer when I was 24 years old, I think, and I still didn't have internet. So I guess it was the same for all of us that wanted to be in those industries. We started to search our own way to get involved. And I was like those ducks there on the screen, those one here. I was flying around and hitting the boundaries of the frame. And this frame was the frame of my own knowledge and experience. And as hard as you hit the frame, the border of the frame, the bigger the frame became. So this way, we gained our knowledge and we started making it. So I was amazed and I fell in love in what I discovered during those years of learning how to do it. And now, maybe 20 years later, it's our responsibility to plant the seed for the next generations of VFX artists and game makers. So, this is hard to get in the industry. So I was planning to talk in this slide to talk about what was back then, that we didn't have enough information and that today the level is very high and blah, 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 stuff like that. But it's not necessary, because is having fun hard? No, it's not. If you do what you love and if you have fun all the time, it's not hard. beside the pain in your stomach and all the muscles that are responsible to being smile all the time. So I will skip this one. And as you may already know, you will not get the answer, which is more fun, games or VFX. Not today, not from me, not from this presentation. Currently, I'm working in the VFX industries for the last 4 years, so I will try to show you a little piece of our work. But first, who am I? I'm Ivaylo, and I'm here with Petya. She's my colleague, and she will tell you a few things about our motion capture facility right after me. So stay tuned. Okay, as they present me, I'm Mechkata. I'm Mechkata for the last 30 years. I don't even remember how this started. So now everybody called me like that. And speaking about the way, our own way to getting in the industries, my way were arts. Even that my parents wanted me to go in a math school, I decided that I will study arts. And high school, university, I will study sculpture, painting, drawing, everything connected with arts. More than 10 years. After that, my next step was to go study directing of animated movies, which I thought that is the logical way to get closer to those industries. During that time, I started my first job in a small company here in Sofia, game studio. They were making flash games back then. And shortly after that, I started to go to a 3D school, which was organized by Worldwide FX. So my day was in the morning, university, lunchtime, working in the studio, evening, 8 o'clock in the evening till 10:30, 3D school. It was a lot of fun from the morning till the end of the day. And shortly after that, they offered me a job, and I took it, and I quit the job in the game studio, and I didn't graduate my MAC degree. So 20 years later, I'm still working for this company. I have quit it for a few times. It was just to pursue my personal dreams, and every time when I quit it, I worked for the game industry. So, a few words about Worldwide FX. This is a VFX house here in Sofia, based in Cinema Center Bujana, and it's part from the New Bujana family. It was found 21 years ago in 2001. We have more than 200 projects behind us, and around 160 people are working with us today. We offer a full range of VFX services. We have on-set supervision. We have art department that are doing everything connected with arts. It doesn't matter what you need, we have it. We have 3D scanning facility, motion capture facility, as you already know, and we are doing everything connecting with CGI. Okay, enough about the company, because we don't have a lot of time. So I will try to show you a little piece of our work and the way that we do it in the VFX. And I'm not showing it because it's something really fantastic that I've never seen before, but I want you to be able, because most of the people here and they're behind the cameras are people that are making games. I know that because I have been on the game jam twice. So I want you to see that, to understand what we are doing, how we doing it, so you can compare it with a small game, for example. This is just a single asset that I'm going to talk about today. Okay, this is the Russian destroyer. It's one of our hero assets that we made for the movie Hunter Killer. So on the left side, you can see the Russian destroyer, and on the right side, it's our diagram, in which we separated it on different objects. All these colors and these numbers are different assets that we made, so we can work on it simultaneously and do it on time. A little bit of numbers, just to help you to compare it to the game. Okay, this asset have 29 assets, the 29 different assets in the master asset. These are more than 2,000 objects. just for one asset, more than 2,000 objects. It's close to 4 million quads and almost 7 million and 900,000 triangles. It's hard to speak about numbers when you're an artist. Okay, 114 gigabytes of texturing folder, from which 35 gigabytes were the final textures that we used for the rendering of this asset in the movie. Those are 3,687 different maps. 17 artists work on this one, and we have 70 tasks, 70 different tasks. And this is close to 1,500 hours, and 910 hours were spent only for the modeling of this asset, which is close to 5.6 months for one single asset. Okay, so when we started this asset, this is the first time that we're seeing it. This is a low poly, this is a blocking. I want you to notice the date. It's July 2016. We made this blocking at this date. So in VFX, when our work starts with the script, I mean, especially when we're shooting the movie, when we have the scripts, our VFX supervisors start to making shot lists. In these shot lists, we can notice which shot will include VFX and which one will be full CG and what assets will be needed to finish those shots. So we can start working on those assets even before the shooting the movies is start. And we are working only on the assets that we know for sure that they're going to be in the movie. So this is a hero asset, so we started working on it really early. And we are using those blockings to make animatics, which we discussed with the director. And okay, I will put aside this part of the movie that this helps for the shooting process, and we will concentrate on the part that it's helping us in the VFX industry. So what we do with this, we do this. We are making animatics, so we can see what is going to be in the frame and how close to the camera it will be and stuff like that. So this is in September 2016, the first version of the shot, the first animatic. So from this we can see that we see the front part, top front part of this asset, and we have to concentrate on this part. So we are working on it and making the first color version of this in December, the same year. So first color version, we know that we have to work on this helicopter because it's very close to the camera. And we see our hero. Yeah, this is the first color version. It's still not there. But from this one, we know that we have to work on the top front side. Everything else will be in motion blur, a little bit of texturing, and we are there. Okay, next version. Next version. It's March 2017. The director asks us to make a different camera. So now we see the whole ship. Not only the whole ship, we see it from the back side. Till this moment, we were planning to not work on the back side of the asset because we don't see it. Anyway, moving forward, another camera. This is 2 days later. 2 days later, we make another camera for this asset. So now we have 180 degree around the ship and we see everything. Okay, at least it's not in the camera. We have distance, so it's not that bad. We can do it. And a few days later, we have this one. We are in the nose. Okay, super close up. We see it close up on top, and we see basically everything. So now we realize that we have to do each single piece of this asset to look perfect, great, and to be matched to the real one, because this is an existent ship. This is a Russian destroyer, is a real ship. It exists in real life, so people may know it. Okay, and we logged this shot in September 2017, the end of the year. This is the first color version. It's almost there. We still have a little bit to do, but it's okay. Notice that the helicopter is gone. So the artist that was working on the helicopter is angry right now. Meanwhile, in the modeling texturing department, they're working to match the details. And here the interesting thing is that we have a prop that was built on the set. We have to match this. We have the real ship. We are matching the real ship. Then we combine those, and they should work together perfectly. So the people are working on the details of the model and textures and blah, 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 blah. So this is version 48 of the Russian destroyer. In October 2017, it became a really big asset with a lot of objects. And the time is ticking away. We don't have time to work left. So we have less, we have not enough time. We have a lot of artists that are working on this, so we can finish it on time. And all the artists, they're giving different results. It doesn't matter how well you prepare the materials for those artists, and you expect them to match the things that they are artists. They're making it their own way. So the results are different. So we need to synchronize those results. And this is additional work, and we don't have time to do it, so we have to work fast. We need to have fun fast. So we need to match the colors, we need to match the level of details, we need to match the proportion of details, and we need to match the borders, the connections, because the artist is working on one piece, and when you put it in the big scene, you can see the borders. We have to match this. So we are starting to work on the elements and review them. We review the passes and we compare everything. Then we are choosing master elements, and after this, we are matching everything to those master elements. Each review is connected with this. So, then we turn everything back to the mothership. This is March 2018. And this is version 51 of our Russian destroyer. That's the final one, no more. So, we can see the hero in action. This is the final shot. It's a full CG shot. The water, the helicopters, everything is done in CG. So this is June 2018, and this is version 173 of the shot. I mean, a lot of fun, 173 versions. And as you may see, the helicopter is back in the shot, but now it's far away from the camera, so all the details that the artist did are not going to be visible, but at least he had fun while doing them. So, and just to know that the hero never comes alone, this is another shot from the same movie, and this is a submarine that we did for this movie. It might look a little bit easier to do a submarine, but believe me, it was the same pain in the ass. And actually, for this movie, we did 3 different submarines, 3 different models, and all of them, they have their screen time, so they have to be perfect, the same way as the ship. Okay. Up. Now you can turn the lights on. Let's move to this one, just to say a few words more. So, as I said, I'm showing you all this, and I'm talking about how we did it, just to get an idea how we do it in the VFX, and maybe you will be able to compare it with the games and to see what the differences are and what common we have, because we have a lot of common and a few differences. Okay, the next slide is something that I just want to share with you. This is from a project that it's not on the screen yet, so I'm not going to talk about it. And those are pictures from my personal collection, and you will not have an idea which movie it is. I'm just showing it to you because this is one of the times that the boat industries cross paths. The paths of the boat industries are crossing. Because here on this screen, we are making a real-time VFX. We built this set, and we are using Unreal, yeah. I used to use Unity. That's why this mistake was. But we are using Unreal Engine to shoot on the screen, projecting from our camera the environment that we did in Unreal. So it was a great experience. And this one, if this technology doesn't exist, we were going to use a green screen or blue screen. And green screen makes all the actors colored in green, which is not so bad because we used to clean them. But this one gives you a good light, the light that you have in your scene, and you don't have to clean them. Okay, enough. How much time do we have? There will not be enough time for queuing. Okay, let's move to it. I want to show you, because the whole presentation went from the beginning to the end. I mean, my beginning, not the end, but nowadays. So this, the next thing that I want to show you is the way that our studio, Worldwide FX, the way for the last 20 years of our studio. So I'm going to show you a few reels. The first reel is, I think it's from 2005, but I'm not sure. That's why I put two numbers from the left side and the right side. This is the first reel when I started working for this company. Then I will show you a reel from 2014, and then the latest reel from 2021. And I hope you like it and you will notice the progress. So, are you ready for the pixel art? Did you notice the mosquito man? And that was fun. Okay, I will skip the mid section because we don't have time. Skipping 2014 and jumping to the 2021. No more pixel art. Oh boy, I'm getting excited every time I watch this. Okay, and this is my slide for Q&A. If somebody have questions, I can answer everything because I can turn into a bear.
Okay, we have a question.
Oh, okay.
Hi, what is the difference in working in your studio comparing to the work in game studio and as a 3D designer and 3D artist? I mean, like, what is the programs? What is the skills that you have to use? And what is the given time? What is your responsibilities and the teamwork in the VFX or what VFX comparing to the game studio?
Oh,
Oh, the things.
yeah, a lot of things, but most of the answers is that it's the same. Most of the answers is that the same. I mean, when we speak about teams, all the people that work in game industry or VFX industry, they do it because they love it. So they're collaborating, and it's a great environment to work. If we speak about the responsibilities as an artist, it depends in what positions you're working in. What are your tasks? So if we have a more concrete question about this,
Like, what should be the objects that you're creating? Because I heard that, for example, the objects should be really created, but not faked with textures.
In
like
VFX?
in games. In games, you fake the
yeah.
shapes.
I think that I understand the questions, but in games it depends what kind of games you're working on. But most of the time you have limitations from the hardware, so you need to use a little different tricks to make it look good. And the VFX, we don't have limitations, and as you see, we have one asset that is close to 4 million quads, which is a lot. And for example, in games, most of the time you have a library of textures, and you use those libraries to create your materials and to texture your objects. In VFX, we don't have something like that. We use materials and we paint the textures, and we can use as much as we need to make it look real. So for example, those 3,000, close to 4,000 different maps, they all were in 4K. So imagine this, if you put that big textures in a game, I don't know how you will need a next gen of consoles to play it. Maybe, I don't know, I'm not sure. I haven't been working for the game industry for the last 4 years, so maybe the things are changed right now, but yeah.
And what programs do you use today?
Yeah, the same programs. The programs
Max?
are the same everywhere. No, the only in our studio, the only program that we don't have is Max.
No Blender.
Yeah, Blender. We have Blender.
Okay.
We use Blender. We use Maya. We use Mari. We use Substance. Actually, every single software that you can think of. No Max. We have only one license for Max, and I'm not sure that we still have it.
Oh. Okay, thank you.
Any questions? Okay.
Okay, we got no more questions. Let's all thank Mechkata.